Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom. Welcome to day 74 of our Supersize You annual challenge. Today we're going to talk about smart money management and what is working in 2026. The number one thing that I have learned over the decades, and there's been at least 5 of them, about money and how it flows and works in our life and in our personal life. Now, I will admit there have been times when I haven't done this one thing and struggled a lot. And there's been other times when I have done it. And I'm going to share 3 tools and 3 different ways of approaching this particular topic that you can adopt one of or tweak it and make it your own. And the topic today, the thing we're talking about that has made a huge difference in my life, is actually budgeting. Looking at our money, looking at our finances, and knowing what's coming in, what's going out, and actually choosing to align with my values where the money goes, what I spend it on, etc. So a couple of things I've tried over the years are different budgeting programs and structures. I remember the first time I did any budgeting was actually using the envelope method. Remember that? I don't know if anybody still actually does that, but you'd get your money, you'd put it in the different envelopes allocated to different types of expenditures during the month that we all have. We have fixed expenses, things that we have to pay every single month, like mortgage or rent, car payments or transportation, food. Yeah, we got to eat every month, right? Utilities, things like that. Some things are fixed and some things are variable. Fixed means they stay the same every month. Usually our mortgage stays the same every month for the year, and it adjusts a little bit for interest or for whatever else, taxes, of course, and changes slightly from year to year, but stays about the same if that's where you've set up your financing. So there's things that we know what they're going to cost us every single month, no matter what. And there are things that just change. In the winter, it costs a lot more to heat our homes than it does in the summer, at least where I live. So I've tried 3 different budgeting tools over the course of my life. And depending on what's going on and how and what phase of my life I'm in, some of these work better than others. And that's why I have 3, and that's why they've changed over time. The first one is the zero-based budget technique, which means I take all my income and then I subtract all of the expenses to get down to 0 every single month. So every dollar gets paid attention to and allocated. So income minus savings, plus debt, plus fixed expenses, variable expenses, and fun. And then it gets to 0 every month. That worked for me before I had a whole lot of expenses and when I was single and young. I have not used that really since, unless I'm doing a focused, where's my money actually going? And I'll do that maybe for a week here or a month there to just touch base and make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Another technique, and this is kind of along the lines of the envelope technique, was the 50-30-20. 50% for what we need, all of the needs, 30% allocated to what we want for, that to me, that's a big one for fun and things, or what purchases that we want to put money aside to, bigger purchases or things, and then 20% for savings and debts. Now, if you've got huge debt racked up, that might not work for you. You might have to dig into your wants category and use some of those funds to pay off your debt. And then the third one is profit first. And this is where you decide how much money, and we've talked about this already this month, what are you going to set aside for the future? What are you going to set aside for your emergency fund? What are you going to set aside to just because you want to build and grow something? Maybe you want to start a business, but you want to start and have a little nest egg ready to start that business, etc. So we actually use this, and I should use it more, the profit first strategy. In the real estate industry, we always learned and we always applied in our real estate businesses. When you go into a deal, you analyze the numbers first. You figure out what your profit and your upside has to be, and you take that out first. That's where I learned to do that. And it's a really powerful strategy because so often we do forget to pay ourselves. And at the time of sale is when we actually see that profit, but we want to know about what it's going to be and plan accordingly, because that'll determine whether we're going to actually invest in something or not. We should approach that in a lot of different areas and aspects in our life. We should invest in ourselves and our education and our skills first before we spend a lot on fun and partying. This is just my opinion. Everybody's life is different. We get to set our own priorities. And that's sort of what today is all about. Does your method of budgeting and what you spend your money on actually match the things that are most important to you? Do you spend your money on the things that you value and are important to you? Maybe travel and adventure is super important to you. Well, then you should allocate and spend money on that, not on just paying bills and just barely trying to survive. So what's working today is to pick a budget, pick a plan, and actually apply it and make sure that you're present with the way you're spending. I will say there have been times in my life where I just would hide and not pay attention to it. Usually there were times I was struggling in other areas of my life as well, and that always leaks into our financial health and well-being. So today, what are we going to do? We are going to share in the comments below, are you doing any type of budgeting? Do you have any kind of a plan or budget? And if so, just say yes or no in the comments below. And if you do, what are you using and how is it working out for you? Share in the comments so that we can learn from one another, because that's one of the most powerful things about even talking about some of these subjects. In many of our lives, it's been taboo and you just don't talk about it. You don't mention, I know in corporate America, it was like actually forbidden. And you were told by your bosses that you didn't tell anybody else what you made, which is, I don't know, really a messed up culture, in my opinion. Everybody should know what everybody's making. And you should be compensated based on, this is again, my opinion, based on the value you bring to the organization and how much you contribute, etc. So those are 3 types of budgets. There are many, many more. I'm sure if you Google it, you could find thousands. My whole point here is pick one, apply it, try it out for a while, see if it works for you, tweak as necessary. Even the 50, 30, 20, I just said, if you got a lot of debt, you're going to have to dig into that wants category, right? And the zero-based, I like the zero-based every once in a while. And I think I might start doing this like once a year. I'll spend a month and do the whole zero-based thing so that I'm consciously aware of where I am spending my money. A lot of times it's been unconscious intentionally, which is not a great strategy, by the way. All right, if I can help you in any way, hit me up and ask. Otherwise, have an awesome day, and I'll, of course, do it with you tomorrow.